Hey everyone, my name is Randolph, and here today I'm with Fluffy, and this is the first episode of Animal Ambassador. In this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about Fluffy here, where she comes from, and what's so interesting about this pretty cool 8-legged animal. Now, Fluffy comes from VIA Aquarium. She's one of our hands-on animals, and she's one of the coolest animal ambassadors because usually I do hands-on shows with reptiles, but sometimes I like to show some creepy crawlies, which is really cool. And today, we're gonna show off for a little bit. Now, Arizona Blond Tarantulas come from, just like in their common name, from Arizona, but they also cover the southwest region from Arizona to California and Mexico. Tarantulas like her are what you call a New World tarantula, and that means that the New World animals is a scientific term. It just means that they come from the America regions, from North, Central, and South America, and that plays a part in the adaptation, the evolution of this animal. Now, Arizona Blondes, if they have the nice colors just like Fluffy here, she's a female. Now, females are sexually dimorphic from the males. Arizona Blondes can get about 3 to 5 inches long, but the females are bulkier and larger in comparison compared to the males. Are very small, long-legged, and the males will have dark black or dark brown legs coming from the head region down. Even the abdomen, it's a little bit smaller. Females have a bigger abdomen, or a big hairy butt, I like to call it, compared to the males. And that's how you can tell a comparison between a male and a female arachnid. Now, arachnids are spiders, tarantulas, scorpions, and even ticks. Ticks are also arachnids as well. Arizona Blondes and New World tarantulas are a little bit slower like her, and they're not as fast, and this is actually what makes her a great animal ambassador. New World tarantulas have something called irrigating hairs. I know that sounds a little bit weird, irrigating hairs, and those are the hairs that come right off her abdomen. When she feels threatened, she's not gonna bite. Now, she does have venom. She has fangs that she uses to catch her prey, but her first defense is actually using those irrigating hairs, and they actually will use their back legs right here and here, and they'll use their back legs and kind of kick off those irrigating hairs, and it's like a really bad irritation. It causes like rash, and almost like feels like if you ever work with fiberglass or any chemicals, it causes like a nasty rash and just kind of sticks to your skin or in your mouth or eyes. Lucky enough, I'm not allergic to the irrigating hairs, but some people or other animals can have an irritation to it, so that's a natural defense for them. If that doesn't work, the tarantula does have their fangs, and they will bite down. They actually will lift up their front legs and their pedipalps, and they will expose those fangs, and they're letting them, hey, if you keep bothering me, I'm gonna bite down. Now, their venom is just like a bee sting, so it's not that strong. The venom is only strong enough to help them digest their prey and actually immobilize it. So what they do, they don't really venture too far out in the desert. They actually make burrows, and they have these spinnerets. It's kind of hard to see right on the back, and those spinnerets actually help her build her den when she's trying to hide and actually ambush her prey. During mating season, the Arizona Blonde male tarantulas will actually venture a little bit more to find a female like Fluffy, which is kind of a good and a bad thing. Now, when a male Arizona Blonde is looking for a female like her, he actually coaxes her out of her den. So he actually will start tapping around the female's den, and that helps them let the female know that, hey, I'm out here, let's come and check me out. Now, with a tarantula, the female will know that the male is there because they have these sensitive hairs going all around their body. So the hairs don't just help them with defense with the irrigating hairs that cause irritation, but also sensing around their environment. Tarantulas and other spiders have compound eyes, and tarantulas, they have one fixed location. There's 8 eyes right in the middle of her head right there. So she can't see too well, but that helps tarantulas know that there's something around their environment and it's causing vibrations. Now, the female will come out. Either there's a 50-50 chance for the male, and the male, do his thing and make more baby spiders, or it doesn't go his way and the female just grabs him and eats him right there, right on the spot, and that's a free meal for her. Now, if the male is lucky, he can escape and find another female and test his luck. And that female, if she is fertilized, she can have over 100 eggs that year and give birth to a bunch of little slings or baby tarantulas. The female will actually use the spinnerets and produce a silk that actually makes a nest. and she'll protect that clutch of eggs until they hatch. Once the baby hatch and have a couple molts, and those molts are just meaning that the animal is shedding and growing in size, the babies have to escape right away. So the female only takes care of them, not really great maternal instincts. She's just protecting her offspring for survival and just increasing the genetic diversity of her and that suitor. Arizona blondes actually live for quite a bit, if you're a female especially. A female Arizona blonde like Fluffy can live about 15 to 30 years, and a male Arizona blonde can live about 5 to 10 years. I know people weren't expecting a spider to live longer than a dog or a cat, which is pretty crazy. And that just has to do, since they have a slow life cycle, they can live for a little bit longer. Fluffy here, and most tarantulas, actually start off teeny tiny. You can fit them right on your pinky nail. And once a year, they'll go through a molt, which they're pretty much shedding their old exoskeleton. It's kind of like what reptiles do when they shed their old skin, but with them, it's pretty much replacing pretty much your whole body parts. Now, what a tarantula does when they're molting, they actually will create a nest of silk to give their body support, because that's when they're most vulnerable, and they will flip upside down. Now, if you ever see a tarantula do that in captivity, don't be worried, they're not dying. They're actually getting ready to molt, and they actually will flip over and they will squeeze and push their new body out right from their head, and it actually peels off like a piece of paper, and they'll push out that exoskeleton and push out the old one, and then it takes almost 2 weeks, a whole month, to harden their new exoskeleton out. And that's where they're most vulnerable, so they have to protect themselves in a den, in that nest, so no predator will come by and actually eat the tarantula. Now, what makes an arachnid has to do with their taxonomy or their structure, how they evolved. Now, a true arachnid will have 8 legs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, have a head and thorax formed in, and that's how they evolved, and then an abdomen. So they're just pretty much a head and an abdomen. An insect only has 6 legs on each side, well, 3 on each side, total of 6 legs. And they don't have the compound eyes, usually fixed in one point and like little dots, just like a tarantula here. And they have a head, a thorax, and an abdomen. That is the difference between a true insect and an arachnid. Now, tarantulas have been around for quite a bit. They're older than dinosaurs, which is an awesome thing. This is like a living fossil. They haven't really changed in over 300 million years. Now, tarantulas actually were bigger back in the day, same thing with other animals, and that's just to do with the level of natural gases and oxygen that was available to increase their size. Now, tarantulas and other true insects or arachnids have an exoskeleton. She's an invertebrate. So invertebrates mean that she doesn't have a backbone or skeletal structure like me and you, but they have this hard shell. An exoskeleton protect their inside, so everything is kind of swishing around in there. And with arachnids or other insects or arthropods, they have this specialized membrane of fluid that actually helps them move around and walk in their environments. If Fluffy actually fell off my hand and onto the table or off the table and hit the floor, she actually can crack her exoskeleton. It's not that strong since they haven't really evolved in millions of years. The exoskeleton hasn't really compounded and created more structure, so from high feet. That's why I usually find larger tarantulas and scorpions low to the ground, not too high in trees or up on rocky terrain. But some tarantulas can climb pretty well. If you go to Southeast Asia, where you find the old world tarantulas, you can find baboon tarantulas, for example, near a tree in dead logs, and that's where they kind of climb up and catch their prey, and they're faster. Fluffy here is staying very still, which is awesome for doing education videos like this, and she moves very slow, so she senses the vibration coming from my hand, so she wants to hold herself steady as possible, and she's not nervous, she's just trying to keep her body supported until she finds a chance to kind of walk down from my hand. Now, if you ever visit Arizona, this is not an animal you have to worry about. It's not going to climb your house and try to bite you. They're going to spend most of their life out in the desert, and if you venture in their territory, and try to provoke them, but of course they're going to protect themselves and use those irritating hairs or try to bite. Other than that, most venomous animals like tarantulas and venomous snakes, it's very cost inefficient to use their venom to try to harm you. As you can see right now, she's a little bit nervous because I'm touching her with the straw just very gently, and she feels it on her hairs. But she's very slow, and it'll be also dangerous for the tarantula to get into an altercation or a fight with a larger predator like a human or another larger animal, because her exoskeleton is very fragile, so you can end up hurting herself and end up dying. In the wild, see a tarantula, let it be, or even if you find other spiders or scorpions near your house, just scoop them up in a cup or kind of lightly touch them with a stick. Now, arachnids like her, or tarantulas, or spiders and scorpions, they're a great indicator species for a more bigger issue, which would be an infestation of what they like to eat. And that could be locusts, cockroaches, isopods, and they will follow the food source wherever it goes in order to eat it. Now, if you have cockroaches, it wouldn't hurt you, I guess, to have a tarantula around, because they'll definitely eat them like no joke. And she will eat quite a bit in one time period. Now, spiders and other arachnids are great because they control the infestation or prevention of an infestation of a lot of nasty things like flies and locusts and cockroaches. So we need spiders and other arachnids around because they're just like a natural guardian, a natural pest control to keep around in ecosystems. I'm gonna leave off here with Fluffy on the close-up on the camera. Hope everyone enjoyed this video, and hopefully in the future I'll have some new episodes of Animal Ambassadors to show you guys. Check out VIA Aquarium if you want to learn about Fluffy and of course the aquatic animals that are at VIA Aquarium. I'll send a link on the description of the VIA Aquarium website and also my Instagram to check out for any other cool education posts or stuff about animals. Take care, guys.